4 Dipty's with us to look through the international papers. The latest scandal to hit Donald Trump.
That's right. It's not about Trump care. This latest scandal is an admission from the White House itself. Press Secretary Sean Spicer confirmed that Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin met informally at the G20 heads of state dinner in Hamburg earlier this month. The men spoke for an hour, according to the political news website The Hill. The White House is playing down allegations, though, that it somehow hid this tete-a-tete, saying it wasn't a meeting but more of a brief conversation. The problem is Trump wasn't accompanied by his translator, which, at least for political analyst Ian Bremer, means that he actually breached national security. One more transgression in what's been many over the past 7 months of his presidency. It also adds more murkiness to this whole nature of Trump's relationship with Putin amid allegations that there was Kremlin-sponsored hacking of the U.S. elections last year. Well, during Made in America week, as you see here in this cartoon, Uncle Sam says normally he'd be upset that the Made in America sticker was actually made in China, but now he's just relieved that it's not actually made in Russia.
Let's move on to the ongoing violence in Jerusalem over the closure of the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Well, Israel is preparing this Wednesday for its day of rage. This as the Fatah movement has called on protesters to take to the streets. The Israeli paper Haaretz reports that Palestinian worshippers are angry over new security measures around the Al-Aqsa Mosque, including metal barriers. It comes after 2 Israeli police officers were shot dead last week by 3 Arab Israeli attackers. Now, the founding editor of the Times of Israel newspaper has written a pretty angry piece calling it, quote, outrageous that Israel is being castigated in parts of the Muslim world for installing metal detectors that are simply designed to boost security. Don't they want more security, he asks in this opinion piece.
Seeing rather a different perspective, though, in some of the Arab language press, aren't you?
In particular, an article from Al-Aqsa, which is a Saudi newspaper. For this writer, it's yet another sign of Israel's attempt to occupy Palestinians. I quote the writer, who says, Zionist thought that is practiced by Israel does not envisage peace and does not seek it. It's an attempt, quote, not to recognize the rights of Palestinians and impose restrictions on them as if they came from another planet.
Going to stay in the same region for this next story. A Saudi woman has been arrested for wearing a miniskirt and a crop top in public.
That's right. She was walking around the historic center of Ushaykir in Saudi Arabia, and she was wearing a miniskirt and crop top, and she posted a Snapchat video was posted online of this woman. The video caused a social media buzz, with many users divided. Some say the woman wasn't offending anybody with her dress and that there was nobody at the site anyway at the time of the video, but others say that her choice of clothing did violate cultural and religious traditions. In particular, in Saudi Arabia, women must wear loose, black, full-length garments. Now, for the Wall Street Journal, though, this controversy actually reflects internal tensions over the future of the Saudi kingdom. You have Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who's seeking to somewhat relax strict rules to appeal to the younger population, and then you have the sort of old-school guard of the religious police.
I love this next story. I'm glad you're doing this one. Independent might take our viewers to do a little bit of a double take. This is a robot security guard that committed suicide, sort of.
Probably shouldn't be laughing about this, but yes, that's right. The Nightscope security robot was, quote-unquote, hired because it was a cheap way of patrolling around sensitive public areas. Now, The Independent reports that it had the added bonus of not getting bored with its work and freeing humans up from rather menial tasks. Well, it appears it was one too many menial tasks, even for the robot. It self-destructed by driving itself into a shopping mall pond. The British daily The Independent reports that the Nightscope robots have actually run into a lot of problems this year. One of the bots was physically assaulted by a drunken man, while another bot actually knocked over a toddler. Anyway, the company that hired the bot now has the rather weird task of trying to fish out its self-destructed robot out of the pond.
Looks like R2-D2, doesn't it? Let's end on some weather news, in particular the names of two tropical storms that are swirling around the States.
Well, the Huffington Post reports that there are two tropical storms swirling around the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans, and by pure coincidence, one of the tropical storms is called Tropical Storm Dawn, and the other, you guessed it, is called Tropical Storm Hillary. The names are chosen at random, so this is really a pure coincidence that the names have appeared side by side. As you can imagine, it's got a lot of people on social media speculating about the symbolism of tropical storms and world politics. By the way, if it is a case of tropical storms imitating life, Dawn has been described as, quote, small, short-lived, and not particularly well organized.
Ooh, I wonder if he's going to push Hillary out of the way or the other way around, on a collision course. Thank you very much, Dipsy, with the papers on France 24. That's